and learning are the primary goals of all enrichment center activities. Serious injuries may occur for your...
In the latest episode of Devs React to Speedruns, several of the Portal devs got to take a look at what speedrunners have been doing to their game over the last 14 years. After the recording, Garret, Jeep, and Erik from Valve understandably had a lot of questions. So speedrunner CantEven jumped in to answer everything he could. We hope you enjoy.
Yeah, that was insane. How long did it take to figure out the bulk of that stuff to get to the point where you could do it under 10 minutes?
Well, in a very real way, it took about 14 years to figure all that out.
Oh, man.
It's a very collaborative effort, and everything you see in that video kind of builds on the knowledge that the speedrunning community as a whole has been building up for the past 14 years.
So is there anything left to discover?
Yeah, there's undoubtedly things left to discover, but unfortunately, by the nature of it, we don't know what there is left in the game. We think we're getting close to how fast you can go, but there never seems to be an end.
Well, just from a speedrunning, like, philosophical standpoint, when do you give up and you're like, well, we've wrung all the speed we're going to wring out of that, since you don't actually know that there might be some other undiscovered trick?
Well, individually, you give up when you find something else to do or when you just get bored. But the great thing about speedrunning is it is truly a community effort. And the community as a whole basically never gives up, never stops playing, because some people may leave or do something else, but then new people join. And it's just constant, essentially. There may be highs and lows, but it's constant figuring out how to break the game more.
That's cool.
Yeah, so how does the save load thing work? Can you explain that in a little more detail?
Right. That is actually, that is pretty much the most broken thing in both of these categories. This is the thing that short papers have been written on. There has been probably multiple hundreds of thousands of words have been written about the implications of the save loading. So what it is it's called save glitch. And I'm going to try to explain it as quickly as I can. But what it does is... the gameplay programmers, I'm assuming that you're familiar with portal environments, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. What save glitch does is it allows you to trick the game into thinking that you are inside of a portal environment when you are outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the way it's coded, if you are go far away from your portal while you're in a portal environment, apparently the game doesn't bother to check for any collision with walls when you're far away from the portal. So that's why, because that's why I can go through all the walls. And that is also the source of a lot of the crazy shots you saw in the first speedrun where it looked like I was just shooting around everywhere, kind of for fun. Those were very, very intensely pre-calculated shots. And I was not actually shooting from where I was standing. There's an interesting thing you can do with save glitch where if you stand behind your save glitch portal, I guess the game kind of thinks you're going through the portal and puts your portal gun almost on the other side of that portal. It transforms your portal gun, but not your player. So your portal gun is just in a basically arbitrary location that is dependent on your portals. And so you can shoot portals in rooms that you are not sitting in. And when you shoot the portals, the position of your portal gun also moves. So you can basically shoot a bunch of portals in a row, and the position of your portal gun keeps changing, and you can shoot to the end of a lot of chambers like that.
That's why you would shoot multiple times in a row, because each time you moved your portal, your mirrored position across the other side of the portal would be a different place. So when you shot again, you'd actually be shooting from a different position.
Correct. And also another thing with inbounds is that we have a rule that none of the portals can go out of bounds. So all of those crazy buck wild shots were landing inbounds.
I see. Just to keep the portals within the walls of the game, like the inside.
Yeah, not on the outside like you saw in the second one.
That is incredible.
That's insane that was all pre-calculated, because when you're first watching it just looks like, like when you're just randomly jumping to pass the time or something in a game. It just looked random. Man, that's so how early in like the history of Portal speedrunning did people figure that part out?
I don't know the exact date, but I believe it was sometime around, maybe broad estimate, 2009 to 2013 that was figured out in detail. And then basically from 2013 up to now, people have been figuring out the nuances of save glitch. There are still things that are completely unknown about how it works. But we've been gathering more knowledge over the course of almost this past decade.
So I don't even know if people speedrun Portal 2, but is that same bug there in Portal 2?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Credit to you guys. It was fixed in Portal 2. And funny story, apparently it was fixed by the game runs a check every tick to see if you have that bug, and then it manually gets rid of it if you do. So, it works, but...
So Jeep or Garret... Okay, yeah, so I was going to say that sounds like somebody was aware of that and shut
I think
it down.
it was discovered by the time that Portal 2 came out, yeah.
Yeah, it could have also been that, like, there was, we noticed a bug, like, oh, we're trying to do something and something weird is happening, and we just, fixed that one little issue, and it happened to, yeah.
It wasn't like, aha, they're going to speedrun it. It was, wait, what the hell? I'm in the wrong Portal environment and I fell through the world.
Yeah, if you accidentally get save glitch, sorry to cut you off, but if you accidentally get save glitch, it is a very jarring experience because you will just fall through the floor, basically, if you don't know exactly what you're doing and know which floors are solid.
And
that is so cool.
We could, I'm not going to do it because it sounds like a lot of work, but we could go back through Perforce and find out who checked that piece of code in that destroyed speedrunning on Portal 2. Like somebody's responsible. Maybe it was Dave, probably.
Probably Dave. It was, there's a 75% chance it's someone on this call. No. Well, no, you could. Did Wolpaw check some code?
A little bit. Unless it got fixed in Squirrel code, I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
I did find the story of making the elevators move. That was really interesting because of the sunk cost fallacy. Just like it kept breaking on like the level transitions, the elevators.
Yes,
apparently.
Constantly. And like every time we changed the art for the elevators, like, and we swapped out the models, we had to change them in every single level and make sure they matched up in every single level. Yeah,
it was just annoying as hell.
Yeah, because funny story, I don't know if you guys know, but 2 of the elevators are actually broken a little bit. Still,
in what way?
The elevators at the beginning of 14 and 19, the doors are not solid because I think they're stuck at the bottom of the elevator shaft.
Oh, really?
And that's actually a little bit useful because it means you can walk out of them before they open.
Yeah. So that means in fixing, when someone updates something and you have to go through and figure out what is going to cross the transition, you've got to do this decoration with names. And it's entirely possible that we just didn't for that particular prop.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's very minor bug, all things considered. I'm sure most people wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, it blows my mind that, I mean, I'm sure Garret and Jeep remember it, did it even more than I did, but we lived with Portal so intensely for so long. And just to think that somebody else, like after we kind of expelled it, that somebody else sort of took over. And because I imagine you had to play Portal as much as we did to get this good at doing the speed running. Like it's just strange to think of like a second group of people coming in and living with it like that. But cool.
I know a lot of the top runners of Portal and Portal 2 as well have usually at least like 1,500 to 2,000 hours of just playing the game for top level runners. And all of the theory that goes behind all of the crazy things that you just saw in Portal 1 is backed up by people who might not necessarily play the game a ton, but they just are constantly theory crafting and finding new routes. And they understand all of these Portal shenanigans and the saving and loading much better than I do.
Yeah, when you're going in and out of portals, a lot of stuff can go wrong with the physics engine that doesn't expect you to go through solid objects. So you're swapping out the physics representation based on your proximity to these things. As you can imagine, you get stuck a lot.
The other main thing is that the player is an axis-aligned bounding box moving through the world. And so when you put portals on an angled wall or on like wall-to-ceiling transition, when you go through the portal, that orientation of the box coming through the other side is kind of always wrong, basically, because we can't rotate the actual player collision box. So when you come through and it snaps that orientation of the axis-aligned box, like just all the time, that would get stuck in different geometry. And so we just have to say, okay, well, the player's stuck. We're going to shove them into a space that we think is like some valid playable space. And that function would try to like basically jiggle around that position until it found somewhere that it thought was good. And that basically it solved a lot of stuck bugs. And I'm sure you can abuse it in crazy ways where you just end up like popping out into somewhere where you're not supposed to be.
My only other question, I can Google this too, but maybe you know off the top of your head, what's the speedrun world record on Portal 2?
Portal 2, the world record is 57 minutes and 57 seconds.
Oh, so significantly longer. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the game is a lot longer.
True.
But then also it's a lot less broken than Portal 1. It's a much more sane speedrun.
Yeah. I'm going to go watch. Actually, you have piqued my interest. I'm going to go watch some of these things. I'm actually more interested now in the theory crafting videos about. I just want to hear people talk.
Well, a lot of
about
those videos are pretty underground, but I can link you the one that I talked about afterwards if you want.
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
Well, thanks for speedrunning our game. That was really fun to watch.
That was great.
Yeah. Well, thanks for making the game. Speedrunning is really fun to both do it and to kind of figure out all the stuff. You guys really nailed it on the head when you said it's like its own puzzle game within the puzzle game.
Yeah, we're flattered by the effort that you guys have put into that. It's thrilling to watch. I feel almost a kinship. Like we think we spent a lot of years and a lot of time thinking about the kind of stuff, and you guys have taken a lot of that and ran with it.
Yeah, it brings back a lot of memories too. Just seeing like all the levels, like I don't know. Whenever I see an area, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when I was working on this and what I was doing at the time, what I was listening to at the time. It's really cool just seeing everything again. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks a lot.